Como criar experiências inesquecíveis? É o que vamos saber numa conversa moderada por Luís Duarte, a que se juntam João Ricardo Moreira, Jonathon Liu e Teresa Sousa.
A very, very warm welcome to this session this afternoon, to our conversation. It's going to be a conversation about how to create great customer experience, great user experiences. And thank you, Roberto, and the great Neste team for this organization. Great speakers, amazing inspirations. My parents actually told me not to talk to strangers, but I couldn't avoid it. I talked to so many people because there's so much now in the room. So great, great, great job. And we are so lucky to have today three experts in these fields. Teresa from Banco BPI, Jonathon from the Verde Hotels, and João Ricardo Moreira from Nós Telecom. So we all love great user, great customer experiences, amazing services, products. We like to be surprised and pampered, like to feel special, maybe be part of a community. Are these companies delivering that? We'll find out in a moment. Leave lasting impressions and also learn from each other's sectors. And let's start our first question with Teresa, Director of Innovation from Banco BPI. Teresa is dedicated to identifying emerging trends and opportunities for the future of the bank, and dealing with subjects such as open banking, blockchain, Web 3.0. I know you've been busy 2024 with Pulso, Quattro, and other projects. So how do you balance, Teresa? Banking is really about trust and seamlessness, and that's critical to your CX. You are at the forefront of integrating cutting-edge technology, and how do you balance leveraging these innovations to enhance your customer experiences, and also ensuring the trust and the simplicity that the bank customers expect from Banco BPI?
Well, first of all, thank you for the invite. I know it's late, so I'll try to keep it brief, but directly to the business cases and to the point, so I can add some value. So first of all, we know that customers are more and more demanding in terms of experience. They expect a Revolut, right? So in innovation, when we are developing new products, new apps, new platforms that incorporate these emerging trends such as blockchain, open banking, we try to keep that in mind. Let's make the best experience. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Let's do what the best in class does. Okay, so I'll give you two examples. In 2023, we launched Diverse, which is an NFT marketplace, blockchain-based. And what we wanted to bring was, we want to democratize, I always have trouble saying this word. Democratizing. Sorry, that. The access to NFTs, right, to digital assets. People are afraid of digital assets. They associate it with crypto, with digital wallets. They don't have that literacy. So what we tried to do was to design an experience of a NFT marketplace, such as Amazon Marketplace, okay? We wanted to copycat the experience. We want to make it as simple as that. People are used to buy things in Amazon, and they will find buying NFTs in Diverse at BPI as simple as that. So we kept that in mind, and we designed a clean experience. They can buy NFTs with a credit card. They don't need to know what's a digital wallet, what's crypto, what's blockchain. They don't need to do that. Those are tools for us internally. So we are incorporating those types of technology, but without the customer acknowledging that he's just seeing a typical experience, a typical marketplace experience. That's one of the things we do. Another thing we also always try to do in order to be customer-centric is when we are designing these products, we are not moved by guesses, okay? We need to be moved by data and by customer opinions. We have the advantage of having a large base of customers, so we try to involve them in this process of from ideation to development, testing, and launching. Okay, so we design personas, we go and interview those personas from our base of clients, we involve them in testing, and before launching the solution to public, we have a lot of inputs from real users. So I think that's also an important thing that we try to incorporate when designing Diverse, the NFT marketplace, launching Pulso, which is our app for the small business segment, that was launched together here with Nós, Quatro, which is our real estate platform also. So I think that's what we keep in mind in order to launch these new technologies, but keeping customer in the centric of it. I hope I was clear.
Very good. Data and trust, and if you want to go fast, you need to have trust from the customer.
Exactly.
Right. Moving now to telecom, and we are happy to have with us João Ricardo Moreira, is a board member of Nós Telecom, and amongst many other missions, João is responsible for the Center for Business Transformation, where he leads the digital transformation of companies as well as government entities in Portugal, which is a challenge that will shape our future for sure. Telecom is often the invisible backbone that powers businesses, and it's also critical to our daily lives. It's almost, I would say, like a second skin for consumers. And with that in mind, João, how do you approach the balance between driving innovation, 5G, IoT, with maintaining the trust that customers expect, especially when technology becomes so integrated in our personal worlds, sometimes encountering a resistance to change? How do you balance hunger for innovation and discomfort with that what comes with change?
So, and you mean telling all of that at the end of Friday afternoon? Okay. I'll try. So the idea, I think we, first of all, we are less and less a telecom operator in the strict sense, and more an IT player. At least on my side, I'm devoted to the B2B side. We look at the telco services as well as we look at the adjacent technologies. So in the end, is having the client in the center of our approach is the starting point, as Teresa mentioned. But answering to your question, I think that on one hand, the client has very high expectations of being served in a very direct, transparent, quick way. On the other hand, he has the expectations set up to a level where I want to be surprised. So I'll expect you to recommend what is the TV program I should watch next. I would expect you to know me up to a point. You know that I like soccer or I like music, whatever. So, and it's quite difficult to, when you bring all the technologies we have been listening about, so that the AI technologies are more and more being developed on the back end. So trying to enhance very small but very important parts of the processes, like what is the best time to contact one client? We are in the conditions to say, oh, this guy, the best time to contact this customer should be at in the afternoon or during lunchtime, or just because we know from all the history that normally we have more success calling him at that time. Mm-hmm. When you just have some machine learning running to try to pair the best agents on our call centers to the clients, because we statistically know that somehow people that have these characteristics will be more satisfied than with these sort of agents. When you develop some tools for the sales people to bring, so retrieve all the information about one client from the web, but at the same time getting the most from the deep knowledge we have on our database, and creates a tool to give some productivity to the sales rep, you're enhancing very small parts of the experience. But in the end, actually we have an advertising campaign running saying that better than being answered by a call center, an automated call center or a bot, we want to distinguish ourselves by saying we have some human touch on the other hand. So balancing the best of technology with the human touch, I think will be one way of doing that, running that balance.
Thank you, João. So personalization, hyper-personalization, and congrats for the ad, which is great. Now let's arrive at the tourism and hotel world. Let's meet Jonathon Liu, Chief Commercial Officer at Verde Hotels. Verde Hotels is a new lifestyle brand born in 2024, so just like 6 months ago. It's a daughter company, if I may say so, of Corinthia Hotels Group, backed by a 62 years old history of hospitality. And so 6 months, just still a little baby, but with 5 hotels already, and more to come, I believe. And Verde Hotels has invested about a year of designing all the guest experiences from pre-arrival to post-arrival to during the stay. And hospitality is really the art of making people feel welcome. We care about each other. And it's often considered where the science of the guest experience, the customer experience began. So, Jonathon, how do you leverage technology, which you are working on, not just to enhance efficiency, but also to amplify the emotional and personal touch that defines memorable experiences?
It's not often you get to create a brand from nothing. So 18 months ago when we came together to build this brand, we really wanted to try and understand what are all the things that people love about hotels. And that was easy. It was easy to list all that down. And then we started to think about what are all the things that people don't like about hotels. And that list was just as long as the list of things that people liked. And we wanted to try and tackle those elements. And we found that what was really important was time. Time is a luxury now. And we wanted to give our team the time with our customers to build those connections and really make the experience memorable. So when we looked at our whole customer journey, we realized that most of our guests are not our customers. So for example, if we have a family coming for a holiday, someone in that family has booked the holiday, but perhaps the kids don't know anything about the hotel, they don't know about the location. So for them to come to the hotel and arrive, they don't really have any expectations. So we had this really magical opportunity to wow our customers and guests. And by focusing on those little touch points, whether it's before arrival, building anticipation, or the actual arrival moment when you're getting to the hotel and you're looking at all the pools and the restaurants, we wanted to really focus on making those moments count. And we found that our team were the ones that were going to make that count. But our team didn't have the time. So we looked at AI, we looked at technology to take as much away from our team that wasn't adding value. Whether that's the admin of taking a credit card on check-in or taking an email address, could we do that differently? And if we could do that differently, how much time could we give to our team to make that interaction on arrival really magical? And that's how we built the backbone of our whole commercial tech structure, making sure that we could give the time that's needed to make those connections with our customers and guests, connections with our local community, and connections with the experiences that make memories come to life.
Sounds promising, and I've experienced it, and I recommend it. Thank you. When you're talking about customer experience, and at the heart of every memorable customer or user experience lies the emotional connection, not just processes or products, but also feelings evoked like trust, joy, and surprise. So let's delve deeper into this dimension of the emotional connection. João, back to you. The telecom services are part of everyday's life. I would say the challenge lies into transforming a functional service into an emotionally engaging experience. How does Nós Telecom work to create meaningful connections with its customers, through its services, experiences? Does this emotional bonding translate into stronger customer loyalty? Would you have any data or evidence on that?
Yeah, actually, we are living in a period where the market has some new value propositions and some new offers of where the price is the key differentiator. And I mean, we get used to have very high quality in the telco services in Portugal. So we rank the best in, let's say, in 5G or in fiber networks, but we used to see it as normal. So it's a gift of God, or it's a human right. So I mean, the operators are just, operating it, but it's no special merit on that. But when you see some challenge to this status quo with a different offer, I mean, you'll see that in the end, on the emotional side, so the credibility, the trust, is something that cannot be translated into money or into prices. So I really believe that having a network that is close to the people, instead of, I'm just interacting with some entity somewhere in the web or in the digital arena. And when I know that I'm not far away, more than let's say 30 minutes from a store, or I know people that work for this company, so I've just created and strengthening the bonds, so the emotional bonds with real humans. I think that'll be, we're living in a time where we'll see the importance of that. So it's not, as you said, not just a question of providing services or having the best processes and so on. It's about having humans that are really dedicated to the clients, and you can see it in a store, you can see it in a sales rep, in interactions with all the people that deliver the brand and the value proposition.
Very, very good to hear. Thank you. Now, banking, Teresa, might be seen a bit like a transactional business, actually. But creating an emotional connection is, I would say, just as important. How does Banco BPI foster these connections through its customer experiences? And do you believe, or do you have any data that this leads to stronger loyalty?
Yes, when you think of a bank, you think of transactions, right? So, but the truth to be told, people go to the bank when they have big needs, like I want to open my own business. I have this dream of buying my dream house. I want to plan my retirement. So it is tied to important moments in life, right? So I think that's where we try to create that connection, that bonding, because we don't want to give a mortgage. We want to help you get the house of your dreams. So the narrative has to change a bit in terms of how we deal with those moments and how do we engage with our customers in those moments. And I think in innovation, what we are exploring It's one of the trends that has also been we have been talking about. It's ecosystems. It's creating a platform that gives customers more than the financial product itself. It gives the whole experience and the whole ecosystem related to that type of product. For example, let me give some practical examples. Quatro, which is the app we launched, that it's where you can find the house of your dreams. Also, you can get there digitally your mortgage, but we want to be more than a place for him or she, for the customer to get a mortgage. We want to help them finding the house of their dreams. So we have a list of housings that are available in the market. He can find out points of distance from its work, from the school of their kids, so trying to add value in the search of that house. Also, we have a module that helps you know how much the money does my actual house values in the market. So what's the price? Should I sell it? Should I not sell it? It's like a LinkedIn profile page for your house, where you can also obtain your documentation, for example, certificate, energetic certificate, certidão predial, I don't know how to say that in English, sorry, but to gather all the documents of your house and to manage your house at that place. You also have a marketplace of products and services related to the house. So we want to be the point of contact in everything that is related to the house. We don't want just to offer you a mortgage. No, you want to offer you the whole package. So I think we try to add value and create that emotional bond through this customer's experience to these types of products that go beyond what's our original product. And I think we did that also with Pulso for small businesses. And in the first question you asked about open banking. So we developed an app for small businesses that we wanted to be where they can operate globally in a 360 vision their businesses. So we don't want to be focused only on the financial aspect of managing a business. We want to bring more value. So we added a regulatory vision, which is typically we found out by interviewing potential customers when designing the products that one of their main issues was they were super dependent on their accounting to get documents to know if they were in debt with the state, either financial, fiscal authority, social security. So we also engage in getting the best technologies. We partner up with some startup that creates APIs in order to bring this this regulatory vision to the small owners, so that they can know if they're owning money, if so, how much in delay, if they're compliant, if not compliant with the law. Besides that, all the part of the financial vision, which is our core product, let's call it like that. So I think we are trying to engage in a more deeper relationship, in getting to know better our customers, by giving them this experience, these ecosystems that go beyond what we are expert in. And that's also why partnerships are important, because I mean, we are partnering up with another company that it's not addicted to the financial vision.
Yes, I can
and then
let me just interrupt, because this is a very innovative example of a joint venture between NOS and BPI to address the small and medium entrepreneurs. So what we have found out is that the entrepreneur has no time, sometimes no literacy, to invest and to have the best financial indicators of the activity. But the bank account, the balance he can see there, is the best KPI he can manage to follow the activity, the company's activity. So we have, just to stress Teresa's point, we have done together from scratch, from interviewing entrepreneurs up to launching the app, or We have done this in order to provide the entrepreneurs with the best responses to their needs. They have no time to build PowerPoints and in a board meeting to discuss the 5-year strategy plan. So they have no time for that. They are running the operations, but they somehow need to have some feedback. Just a green light from the tax authority, the green light from Social Security, meaning I owe nothing to them. But at the same time, I can see my balance that is rising, meaning, okay, most probably I'm selling more than I was. So very small and straight to the point responses to a need. So again, it's customer centricity that drove us to work together. So outside of our scope.
After all, no one knows more alone than we all know together. So you build these strong partnerships in benefit of your customers, both corporate and also private. Right? So super to hear. Jonathon, in hospitality, guests expect exceptional service, and how does Verde Hotels ensures its teams not only deliver the brand promise, but also establish an emotional connection, and that makes each guest special? Would you share specific examples?
That emotional connection is the thing that's most important to us. We have standard operating procedures. When you come to a hotel, how you check someone in, there's a whole list of what needs to be done. But that doesn't make a connection. A great example is when I often go to a hotel. If I'm traveling on business, I'm carrying my own suitcase. I just want to get my key. I want to go to my room. That's all. But if I'm traveling, say, on holidays, I want to know what are the restaurants nearby, what are the experiences I could have. But I'm that same person. I'm still the same guest. I'm still the same customer. And what we want is our teams to identify my needs in that moment. Even if I'm a corporate customer, if I'm arriving at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm probably going to be a little bit more relaxed, have a little bit more time. But if I've been delayed on a flight, which often is from London to Malta, and I'm getting to the hotel at 2 a.m. in the morning, I don't want the receptionist to tell my name 3 times and smile and tell me when the bar's open and those sorts of things. I just want to get to bed. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. So what we're trying to do is really work with our teams on emotional intelligence to read the customer, understand what they need right there to make them feel happy and comfortable. And that's going to change all the time. And that's not something you can put into a process. So this element of working with the teams, role-playing, having our mystery shoppers, and then having that feedback fresh to go with the teams and say, this is what happened. Why don't we try this next time? And it's always this coaching element. I think that's the most important about our development with our teams, is that coaching element. And without that, we can't reflect and we can't improve our overall experience.
So we have not only to read every guest, you have to read every guest in what moment of his day and emotional state he is and how busy he is, and super. Before we move into the last set of questions, if there's anybody that at the end would like to ask a question, something that you're curious about, please let us know at the end. So just bearing that in mind. Moving now a bit into omni-channel and differentiation, and we know innovation, as we've seen, is crucial, partnerships, but so is ensuring matching service designed to matching service delivered. And also there's a growing number of customer touch points in the journeys. Teresa, with the rise of home banking, contact centers, the remote banking, how does BP maintain a sense of proximity and connection with the customers? And I'm curious about what role do physical branches play now and also will play in the future?
It's funny because I think most people thought branches are not going to exist in the next 2 years, 1 year. It's all going to be digital, but that's not the truth. Actually, you see some news, curiously, that, for example, Revolut wants to open physical branches in Portugal. And I think that's relevant, right? We are not planning on closing any more branches. We have 270 branches, something like that. It's true that we also are augmenting our base of digital customers. We have more than 1 million of customers using the app. But still, you go to a branch and you will have to wait. There's a line in the branch. People still do, unfortunately, a lot of transactions, a lot of basic operations in the branch. And what we are trying to do is to educate our clients to use the app or use the self-service machines we have. But still, there's a segment of obviously older people or small businesses that still need a lot of physical branch. They want to do deposits, they want to do deposit checks, simple transactions. So I think there's physical branches are important, that we want to move from the transaction, from doing this type of transactions, in order to become some consultancy centers, let's call it like that, where you plan your retirement, you invest in funds, you use those moments to make operations that have higher value, right? But I think it's a process, and it's going to take a bit of more time than we thought to. And also physical branches are important because it's where they put a face on, right? People want, sometimes in obviously money-wise problems, they want to see a face, they want to see someone that can help us. And I think quality of service is our number one priority at the bank, so that point of contact is critical. Attitude is everything, and we need to show ourselves available to do even the simple transaction, although it does not create value for us, but we need to serve our clients. That's the most important thing. We can never say no, we won't do it. Okay, so I think physical branches do play a really important role, and they're not going to disappear soon. And we need to ensure that we also give the best experience in the digital. I think that's also a way that we have to focus on, and also on contact centers and as virtual assistants. In order to share here, not a success story, but people get annoyed with virtual assistants. So most of our contacts end up at the contact center. So people want to talk to a human still. And I think that's also a challenge we are facing, and it's going to be important to understand how can we improve our virtual assistant, for example, because we need to make as good as experience as they have in contact center and as they have in physical branches. And I know we are talking AI and technology, and we, at this time, to be honest, we expect it to be much better at that part. And we still have a way to go. So people don't like numbers and please press 1, please press 2, but we need to make a way of this to work. So I think we still have some challenges, and we need to guarantee that we offer the best experience either in digital and in physical, and with real people and with AI.
Like really a holistic approach and the lifetime of the customer, you planned it all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to hear. Jonathon, Verdi St. George's Bay Marina in the beautiful island of Malta created a unique kids check-in. It's an experience so where the young guests are treated like a VIP. And parents love seeing their kids pampered. How do you see the experience strategically as an investment? Are you building long-term loyalty? Are these memorable experiences valued? Is there a return on investment on that?
Absolutely. We tackled it in two ways. Firstly, who's travelled with kids between the ages of 3 and 7? If you're flying to Malta and you've got 2 young kids, getting through that airport, getting to the hotel, it's not a holiday. So we wanted to take that moment when the family has arrived at the hotel and say to the parents, it's your holiday too. Why don't you relax? So we thought, let's entertain the kids while the parents can look out the window, look at the Mediterranean, and just take that breath. So we thought, okay, kids need to do the work. They need to check in. So we created we have a little footstool for some of our smaller guests so they can stand up and talk across the desk. And we asked them the questions. Good afternoon. Would you like a balcony? Would you like an ocean view? I mean, all our rooms have balconies and ocean views, but the kids don't know that. But it gets them engaged and gets them talking. And we always refer to them. So if they're Mr. John, how's your day? And we really engage them. And all of a sudden, the parents can sit back. And all of a sudden, this is easy. This is nice. The kids are engaged. They're excited for the holiday. And then they're playing the main part. And through that check-in process, we're establishing what they want to do, where the type of food that they like, and from that we can make recommendations to the parents. So we have a revenue opportunity here, data mining from the children. Mm-hmm. So we're giving the children an experience that hopefully they'll remember, that brings them back to the brand eventually, but what we're really trying to do is give the parents an experience, an ease, a relaxation, a real start to their holiday. And if they have that experience, they're more likely to come back to one of our hotels or that hotel because they know the family will be looked after very well.
So happy kids, happy parents.
Absolutely.
And just before we close our session, would there be any question from anyone? Maybe anyone?
Friday afternoon.
No. I've got the question. I'm curious about
I
that.
see their hands.
Oh.
Thank you. I know some of you, but when I heard about this panel, one of the things that I liked most was to see experts from different kind of sectors together talking about customer and user experience. And what I want to ask to you is if when you do benchmark, if it's important just to go to your competitors, to your sector, or it's important to understand and find good practices in other sectors and know a little bit more about the customers' needs and what they want.
I can start. So definitely we look at many other sectors because the customer will have what the literature call the liquid expectations, meaning if I had a good experience buying some Nike shoes, I will expect the restaurant to provide me the very same experience. And when we look at the digital, so it's the customer doesn't care about being this telco sector or the IT or the insurance, whatever. So we definitely look at the best practices all across, and I'll give you one specific example. We for an healthcare client, so one of the private healthcare providers in Portugal, we use the experience from tourism to recreate the hospitality parts of some hospitals in the healthcare. And they just got amazed. Oh, we have never seen this. But they had a lot of experience being in hotels and but never grabbed that experience and into the healthcare industry. So we did this just because we really believe that cross-pollination is the best way to address that. So.
Yeah, definitely. I can give two more examples. I'm bringing Pulsu again, but it's true. On the financial vision part of the app, we focus on, this is João's favorite word, okay. Data visualization. Yeah. And we went and did a benchmark focused on how health apps work in terms of data visualization, because those are the apps that are engaging. In Apple, for example, you go to your iPhone, you go to the health app, and it's layer after layer after layer, and that creates engagement. And that's kind of where we got this focus on data visualization, but in financial view instead of health view. For example, I was talking about marketplace. For the NFT marketplace, we used Amazon, which is non-related, right? The type of product. I can also tell you, now we are thinking of how the branch of the future behaves. What should be the branch of the future? We are not going to look only for banks. We are going to look how telcos do it, how the healthcare sector does it. So I think it's really important. It's almost critical to see outside your industry.
For us, a hotel stay isn't just an experience. It's 100 micro experiences that are all joined together. And we recently looked at just one small moment, which is coffee at breakfast. Mm-hmm. I can't start my day without coffee. So we looked at how are our competitors doing it. Not just hotels. We looked at Starbucks and Costa. We looked at local coffee shops as well to try and find what is the best experience to have that coffee. And with that, we were able to look at our baristas, looked at how we prepare the coffee, how we present it to the customer, and that has made a huge improvement on our scores for breakfast, just with that one little moment that was really important.
Again, we can really learn from each other so much. So let's do that. Let's share. And a way to learn is by reading. I've got a great book here. It's about disruptive customer experiences, and I would like to ask the audience. Would anyone like to have it? The question was, would anyone like to have it? Yes. The question is still, would anyone like to have it? Anyone? I'll go for it. So the key is when you want to something, go and get it. So let's deliver great customer experiences, and congratulations for getting what you want. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.